We live, family. Threw the link out. Waiting to see who want the smoke. If you want the smoke, come and get it. Threw the link out. We gonna see who want the smoke. Come on in. This is an equal opportunity smoke session. Somebody probably got that trademark, but I ain't worried about it. I'm sure y'all hear all the noise from the family. Equal opportunity smoke session. Somebody come. Peace, peace, brother Consul. Peace, Metu. Yeah, I just jumped on for a minute. This is my first or second time going live. Threw the link out to some of the brothers. See if they're gonna come in and get some of this smoke real quick. Testing it out, see how I like it. So we're gonna see what it do. Yes, sir. Let's get that work. I'm waiting. I threw the invitation out there. We're gonna see who bite. Yes, sir. So yeah, we you know, seeing who got something on their mind, who want to get something off their chest. Nothing in particular. We could talk about religion. We could talk about politics. We can talk about financing, business, whatever y'all want to talk about. Who want the smoke? So in the meantime, while we're waiting for somebody to bite, one of the things I want to talk about is we continue to talk about how black people are going to liberate themselves, right? We continue to talk about that as if we don't have an avenue or multiple avenues to do so. The way we're going to liberate ourselves in this current paradigm is to financially liberate ourselves. See, we can get into all these conspiracy theories about the government this and the government that, but at the end of the day, the color that everybody is concerned about is green. Build you a business and you can become financially free. And once you become financially free, you will start seeing all kinds of doors open up. You say going to the falsehood of Christianity. That's who I invited in. I invited some of the Christian brothers in, but I ain't seeing nobody jump in just yet. So we'll see. But that's still an option. So, but I mean, just even with that, when we look at Christianity, I mean, what has the the church in this recent context? We know what it did coming out of slavery. I don't think anybody can deny, excuse me, that the black church was foundational in what our people had to do coming out of slavery. I don't think that anybody would deny the role it played in the civil rights movement, right? But in our current paradigm, what is the church actually benefiting our people? And if it's fulfilling you spiritually, that's fine. That's your personal invocation. But with regards to propelling us forward as a people, what is it doing? How is it helping us in totality? I don't see how it's doing that. You say this is a cultural war, not a financial war, not a financial war. I disagree. I think it's all financial. I don't think that I think the reason our ancestors were put into slavery was because of finances. I think that had a huge impact on why they did what they did to our ancestors. I think it was a money move. Now, do I think hatred and disdain and all of those things played a part in it? Absolutely. But I do believe that the larger part of it was the basis for their economic system. I agree 100%, Consul. The enemy is poverty. I think when you look at the history of America, you look at when it was colonies, the late either the late 1400s or the late 1500s. You had African indentured servants, European indentured servants of all kinds, whether it was Irish, French, Dutch, etc. And they were all on the same level in on this continent. This is a fact. This ain't hyperbole. This ain't made up. This is real history. And an event called Bacon's Rebellion took place where the all of these poor, impoverished people who were in servitude joined together under one cause. I believe they were fighting uh, Indian, Native American attacks, and the higher ups saw all of these people working together, and they knew they had a problem. And so they sat on it for a minute, but then they got an opportunity because three individuals ran away. And you can look this brother name up because it escapes me. But I believe it was a Dutchman and an Englishman who ran away along with this African brother, who again you can look up. Now, when they got the two Europeans, they ran away from the person who they were, the man who they were indentured to. When they got the two Europeans, they gave each of them 7 more years to the person who they were indentured to, and 7 more years to the colony of Virginia. When they got the African brother, they gave him lifetime servitude. Why? Because now the strategy begins to unfold. We have to show these poor Europeans that they are superior to this African, even though they dirt poor themselves. They're gonna be superior to him. Now the transatlantic slave trade is in full effect, and so instead of him getting 7 more years to the man he ran away from and 7 more years to the colony, he has lifetime servitude. And these individuals who just ran away with him and were on the same level with him are now his overseers. And so the switch is lit, is hit, or flipped, as you would say. And now our ancestors are being brought over by the boatload. Now poor whites with no teeth think they have standings to feel that they are more or that they are superior to a black person with a PhD making $500,000 a year, all because they white. Because now it's about being white. It's not about being poor and us joining together in the cause to end poverty. It's about white versus black, white versus Native American, white versus everybody. But that's how that played out here. Get the book by Neil Irvin Painter, The History of White People. Get Stamped from the Beginning by Ephraim X. Kendi. And it breaks it down from beginning to end, from how this was a strategic move. Like they was playing chess and everybody else was playing checkers. And we ended up, our people ended up the low man on the totem pole, so to speak. Even right now, everybody talk about this reparation stuff. And it's funny to me that America has went out of their way to help countries all around the world. Japan bombs America in Pearl Harbor. They put people in internment camps, and then they feel guilty about it, so they pay the descendants of those people who they put in internment camps, those Japanese people. Native Americans who did they did them dirty. Genocide, took their land, but they get them sovereign land, tax breaks, etc., money. Even the Jew who they had nothing to do with the Holocaust, but they made sure they got paid to the point that they absolutely give them billions a year even now. But when a black person who suffered the greatest atrocity in human history at the hands of this country asks for their reparations, it's like, are you out of your mind? How can we quantify that? How can we come up with that? Wow. It's like you talking out of the side of your neck. But you've done this several times over for several other groups of people. But when it comes to us, you can't fathom it. And people literally just they act like they blind to what's happening as it pertains to us and the way, as the movie was called, they see us. So yeah, I can't okay, Metu, I see you. Man, you should come on in, man, and go ahead and put down this demonstration, man. Come on in and teach. I don't know what you I don't know what you waiting for. You gonna go and do me that honor, man. If I send you the link, come in and teach the people. You ain't gone back to the motherland yet. But I see you in the chat. Yeah, I'm just trying this out. Seeing how this live work. Never did it before, so see how it go. Say indentured servitude and slavery. Nobody merging slavery and indentured servitude. How did you get that out of what I said? I did not say that at all. I think you're going to have to go back and rewind tape. I said the brother was an indentured servant. After he ran away with two Europeans, the Europeans got 14 more years of indentured servitude, and the brother was given lifetime servitude. He was essentially made a slave for the rest of his life. I I don't know how you thought I confounded those two things, but yeah, go. I think you need to pay more attention to what I was saying. Not confusing at all. They basically played the man. How is it that the two people who ran away with him got 14 more years servitude and he got a lifetime? That's not. I'm not confused about what I said at all. I know the history very well. Like I said, you can look this brother up. This ain't hyperbole. It ain't made up. This happened to a black man on these shores in the colony of Virginia before the slave trade was happening in earnest in this country. Contrary to popular belief, the slave trade wasn't always going on in these colonies. So when the colonies first started, the slave trade wasn't in effect here. So that's not I'm not confused in what I'm saying at all. I'm very aware that servitude and slavery is two different things. Don't get it twisted. Come on in. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. I do it like that. You don't need no topic. The topic is whatever you want it to be. You the teacher. You the teacher. We just trying out this live for the first time to see how we like it. This might be something we do on a regular basis. We might not. But I'm gonna put this link in the chat and then you can jump on in. Speak your speech, my brother. It's been a while since the people heard from you anyway. So come on in, man. We ain't gonna be on too long. Like I said, I'm just trying it out, see how it works. Last time I did this was when I had the hood scholar on, and I wasn't able to keep that video. Metu the God. Metu the God. What's the word, my brother? You gotta unmute yourself.
Uncle Justin, my good brother.
Hotep, my brother. What's going on with
Oh man, just trying to keep my sanity in this insane assault called the United Snakes of America clan.
you? Okay, okay. So yeah, man, speak your speech, man. I'm just on here testing out how these lives work. I got it linked up to the Zoom, so I just kind of wanted to see how it would work. No particular topic in mind, so as you see, I'm just kind of freestyling.
Okay, we'll freestyle until a subject come up. Well, let's talk about this pandemic real quick. What they call a pandemic is a pandemic. Um, what's interesting about, especially with this plan and this election, the selection, um, it's going to be very interesting because Joe Biden has been sick. This country is a patriarchy, not a matriarchy, and it's ruled by men. That's the foundation of this country. So if something happened to Joe Biden, Kamala Harris become president. That's changing the whole structure of America. And I don't think that the other powers that be is going to allow that to happen. So something we're gonna go through some interesting times. Those that decide to stay here in this country, but all we gotta do is just ride this wave, man, because we really ain't got no dog in this fight. But it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens these next 4 years. Because I, I I could be wrong, but I'm thinking Trump got something under his sleeve because white boys don't go down without a fight.
He definitely got something up his sleeve.
I truly believe he got something under his sleeve.
The question
We ain't
is,
seen it yet, but I just know in the history of Europeans, they don't just get up, they don't just change power because they supposed to. That will show morality, and they don't have morality.
exactly.
So it's just gonna be interesting. I'm just looking at the temperature of America and just seeing what's really happening. But I just would employ black people to look elsewhere. It don't have to necessarily be Africa. It can be South America. It can be the Caribbean islands. Because this is the thing, America is a food desert. And last thing you want to do is be caught where you can't feed yourself.
Exactly.
So
Let,
that's just
let
something
me ask you this:
to
could you? I'm gonna get to this vaccine thing in a minute, but could you see a civil war brewing with regards to the Trump Biden situation?
I think so. Yeah, and then check this out. This is what they say. It's not what I say. This is what they say. Okay, first off, China has 1.4 over 1.4 billion people in China. There are no coronaviruses in China. Okay, but they want this vaccine in America and the rest of the world. Why? Okay, China's under control. This this coronavirus vaccine is about control. So we have to really be very cautious of the words and stuff that they say. They speak in cold words, and we have to really be like, okay, what is the meaning behind this? They can give you a word, but they don't give you the meaning behind it, and you got to be very leery of that, especially with Trump and Biden. You know, okay, let me put the disclaimer. I always got to put the disclaimer out. I don't trust neither Biden nor Trump.
No
But when
doubt.
you put things, as our ancestors talk about, as we talk about on the show, we called it ma'at. When you put things on the scale of ma'at and weigh it, when you weigh these Lucifer, Satan, Trump, and Biden, Biden is worse. If you just put it on the scales of ma'at, you will see that Biden is worse than Trump. Trump just became a politician. The same people that Biden and Clinton was putting in the jail, Trump was letting out. Biden want to replace people with immigrants. Trump want to keep people in America working. So I'm not saying that Trump is good, but if you're dealing with two devils, you gotta be like, wait a minute, which one really had a little wiggle room to do something. And then before Biden and Hillary Clinton passed that crimes bill, less than 1 million people was in jail. When that crimes bill was passed in the early 90s, 2.5 million people went to jail. Kamala Harris has a known record of locking black men up. So you got two anti-black men, people as leading this country. What is that saying for the sake of black men?
Yeah, it's saying
Just
it's gonna
something
be
to
a
think about. I'm not saying
long
nothing.
road to
Just
hoe.
something to think about. Just as I said, put it on the scales of my eye. Who's worse, Trump or Biden?
Yeah.
And then even with this, when I ask people, people can never answer me this question: what did Trump do that make him such a bad? What has he done to make him say, "Oh man, we got to get him on"? What have he done? Okay, what has he done?
That's what I always ask people, like what racist policy.
I mean, are we mad because white people mad? Are we following their emotions?
That's what it seemed like to me. So I mean, I don't know about you, but to me, I haven't seen uh, a racist, like an outright racist. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe he a racist just based on his history, statements he done made, etc. What I'm saying is, when we saying he a racist and we accusing him of being a racist, I haven't seen um, a policy while he's been president that's indicative of of him being a racist.
Right.
And
See,
so
and the thing
I
is, he
wonder,
just became a politician. I understand he have funded laws. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
right,
He was against the brothers in Chicago with the with the jogging situation. He wanted the
New
death
York,
penalty. I
the New York,
understand all that. But
right,
he
right,
wasn't a
right.
politician. He was just a rich white man had money. Because really, if you want to look at him, you might as well look at a lot of black people that silently fund Planned Parenthood. Their whole mission is to make sure there even audio recordings of people saying, "Can you make sure that a certain amount of black kids are not born?" Planned Parenthood is the same. Is pretty much the same as when Trump was funding laws. So, but I'm saying as a politician, someone who can push law, he just became that 4 years ago.
Okay.
Now I know he's the poster child for the Klan, but Biden he voted against segregation.
I,
Let's put everything on the table and be
I'm
like,
already
okay,
healed.
okay.
I'm already healed, bro. So that's why it to me, I think that it's a little bit of deception and a lot of us sort of the falling in line with the trend of disliking who they tell us to
Right.
dislike, right?
Making us laugh when it ain't funny, making us itch when it don't scratch.
Exactly.
Scratch when it
Exactly.
don't itch.
That's a little bit of what I feel like is going. Again, don't get me wrong, because I do believe Trump is a racist.
Yeah,
I just don't.
he's a poster child for the Klan.
But I think Biden is a racist too.
He
So
is a racist.
to me,
See, Trump is the racist you know. Biden is
exactly.
racist you don't know.
And to me, what's the difference? What's the difference between the two of them?
I'd rather the racists I know. Now I know how to deal with you. Because really, to be honest, if we want to keep it what they say, keep it 1,000.
Right.
Uh, Obama was a racist. If
No
we're gonna keep
doubt.
it 100. Obama was racist. He's he,
I tell people all the time.
he's an immigrant just like Kamala Harris. They don't really have no feelings towards black people in America.
I ask that question all the time. What, how, or is Kamala Harris and Barack Obama? How could they relate to the black experience
Yeah,
in
I mean
America
it's
that
no
you?
different than asking the same thing with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, how can they relate to what me and you have had to go through
They can't
in
relate to
our
it.
lives? You see what I'm saying? Or my daughters? How can they
They're
relate to
outside of
that?
the experience.
Yeah, they can't relate. They can't. I don't think that that's inappropriate to say. So you know, it's kind of strange to me that people want to get upset about you saying something that's a fact. They are they immigrants. They have a different experience. Barack Obama's mother and grandmother who raised him are white. He can't relate to what me and you have to deal with on a daily basis. As soon as his white mother and his white grandmother show up at the school, it's a different situation for him. I, I just don't. Kamala Harris, as soon as her East Indian mother show up, it's a different experience than what it would be for you or me when our black mothers show up. It just is. I don't know why that's difficult for people to understand. Because she went to
Yeah, 'cause
Howard.
I think we just getting off. We're going off the emotions of others. See, that's what happened when you're not in power. When you're not in power, everybody else's emotions mean more than your own. We can't even come up with our own. We don't even have our own rationale. Why are you mad at Trump? Oh, well, he's a bad president. Why are you mad? Give me a logical reason. Why are you upset with this guy? He can
Hmm.
never give you a reason. Oh, he racist. Okay, from George Washington to Trump, all of them been racist. So
All of
you can't say that this is a new person. This is a new thing.
them.
Like we just the first time we got a racist president in office.
Yeah. I can't. I'm in 100% agreement with you. So it is interesting to see how we sort of let them put the strings on us and and play the puppeteer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you know, but let me ask you this, and I want your opinion on something because it's been bothering me. Not bothering me, but it's been vexing me uh kind of all weekend. So not even all weekend. It goes further back than this weekend. Me and you probably talked about it before. So black people who are Christians, what is it about being a Christian that makes them disassociate with African spiritual traditions or African culture, period, where they say things like this practice is evil or that practice is evil with not even having a lot of information about it. Instead of saying the person or the individual who did it was evil, they say that the tradition is evil. However, if I was to point out that individual A did some evil things in the name of Christianity, they would either right denounce that he was a Christian or point out that he's an individual not acting in the grand scheme of Christianity, right? Why can't that make that same differentiation as it pertains to an African tradition?
Well, when you adopt something, you have to accept all of it. You know, just like bringing in a woman that has 12 kids. You didn't know she had 12 kids. Now she got 12. You have to accept all of it. But a lot of times we accept Christianity and don't know the mindset that comes with it. It's a very warlike religion. You know, and the people go to war over their beliefs. But the thing is, Christianity is holding on to African spiritual concepts, and they want to say, "I have it first. I had it. Don't It's this thing of I had it first before you." So whenever you start pointing things out, like, wait a minute, I seen this story before somewhere. Oh, they got it from me. There's always this trying to hold on to my crown of authenticity. I came up with it, and anybody else that you see a copy of, they got it directly from us. That's a white man's selfish mentality of I'm white and I say so. Because a lot of stuff that people say about Christianity is not in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? A lot of, like, for an example, they'll say that I'm pretty sure you heard this. They'll say that the devil was the angel of music. He was a very beautiful angel, right? Where is that in the Bible?
Right, right.
Where is that at? See, these things were told to us, and then we just accepted it. Religion is the gateway of gullibility. If I can get you to believe a man walked on water and split the Red Sea, if I got tell you that I got the Easter Bunny ready for you, I got Santa Claus ready for you. I can say your bridge in Manhattan. So we have to understand that there is a mental game that they're playing on us. I don't call it Christianity. I call it Christ's insanity. You're insane for some, we constantly accepting things that are to our detriment. Our brother Stevie Wonder said, when you believe in things you don't understand, you suffer.
Superstition, man. And that is crazy because I see that a lot where there's this dismissal of Africa as a whole. It'd be all that African stuff, and it'd be like, you do know you African, right?
What's interesting about it is the beginning of the Bible starts off in an African country. All
Right.
these saints and people that came in that's in Christianity had their inception in African countries. Moses was born and raised in Egypt. His wife was from Ethiopia. Jesus was hid in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Why is it that these were the places that save your savior? But yet at the same time, these are the same people that you say, no, we don't want to deal with them and what they're practicing is wrong. Even in Islam, Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah says, go to Ethiopia where no man is wrong.
Yeah, that's another thing that I think people don't even trip off of. Like you said, Moses raised in the house of the Pharaoh. Jesus need to hide. He goes to Kemet. It is like what? How could you possibly have a negative connotation towards Africa?
When Africa saved your savior, they didn't go to European nations to get saved. They went to Africa.
Yeah, you ain't go to Britain. You you went to Kemet. It's
Right.
it's like, well, yeah, that is it's kind of it's kind of crazy when you think about it.
But when you
But
believers don't know and knowers don't believe. I remember I was talking to a brother from the nation, good brother. I don't have nothing against our brothers in the FOI, but I asked him a question, and it did something to him where he just had to hang up on me for some reason. The only question I asked him was, I said, brother, when you gonna stop being a believer and start being a knower?
hmm,
It did something to he just hung up the phone. I'm like, now I'm just asking you a simple question. I know you're a believer, but when are we going to start being knowers? When are we gonna know something? Why we always gotta go through all these theories? The Yaku theory. You mean tell me out of all this time the teachers of Elijah Muhammad, ain't nobody come up with a Yaku fact?
and
All this is they belief.
I was talking to one of the brothers, man. A lot of respect to the brother, good brother, about the Yakub story, and they really believe that that's That's a factual event, man. Like that's like, bro, we have like a long way to go when it comes to some of these religious
See, the
beliefs. Like,
reason why the religions don't respect African spiritual system is because our spiritual system never took away science. You know what I'm saying? In order to be spiritual, you have to be scientific. But in order to be religious, you knock out logic. You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense for a man to, out of all days, to walk on water. And then look at, he walks out on water. One of the disciples walk on water and loses his faith. Now, make that make sense for me. How you lose faith after already walking on water?
you already did it. Yeah. It's and then you listen to it, and this is what's funny to me. Christians feel like Muslims and other spiritual beliefs are like ludicrous. Like the Yakub story is ludicrous to Christians. But then you have to look at some of the things that they believe. So you like, how's the Yakub story so ludicrous to you, but you believe X, Y, Z? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
and I see what you're saying. That's crazy. The Christians would call Muslims terrorists, but the clan of Christians.
but the clan of Christians, man, yeah, it
The Ku
just
Klux Klan is a Christian. Look it up. It's a Christian organization.
no doubt.
You can't say they don't go to church. They have all their meetings in the church. I'm not saying that Islam is no better, but Christianity seems to pick on other things as though I'm holier than thou.
Well, let me run this by you because somebody who you're familiar with, good friend of mine, the conscious Christian Jerome Green, he says that the the slave owners, these wretched, foul human beings who enslaved our ancestors, he says they weren't Christians. And the reason they weren't Christians is because of what they did to our ancestors. He says that goes against the tenets of Christianity. And so my position has always been, if you were to go back in time and confront those people and tell them they're not Christians, you will have a hell of a argument and a debate on your hands because they believe they were God, they were the children of God. So what you think about that? Is there a line to be drawn between what a real Christian was, say those who were fighting to abolish slavery, and those who were fighting to keep slavery intact? Is there a line to be drawn between the two with regards to who a real Christian is and isn't?
The Europeans that helped enslave African people, they went to church. They believed that God told them to do this. They will lynch you with the Bible in their hand. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense to try to separate one from the other. It's like it don't make sense to me. I don't separate the two because who gave us the Bible? Who gave African people the Bible? After all the torment and beating and neglect and rape and torture, who turned around and said, "You read this book"?
Can't
The
read
same people
nothing.
that you
Can't read
call
nothing else.
non-Christian, the same people you call non-Christians are the ones that gave you the Christian Bible.
Yeah,
How can you say that they're not Christian when they the ones that gave you that Bible?
true indeed. True
Just
indeed.
answer that question. The same people who tormented you, Brother Malcolm X said, "How if they're not going to teach you right? If they're not going to treat you right, they're not going to teach you right."
Mm, mm.
They
It's
said and
real.
did all. They gave you bad food, bad treatment, but give you a good God.
Huh.
They changed your name. They took you. They just confused you. They took you away from who you are and gave you a Bible, and that's supposed to help you. See, the
Yeah.
reason why we accepted that Bible is because we was tired. Think about Kunta Kinte. Why did he accept being called Toby? He got tired of getting his ass whooped.
He
So
got
now
beat.
that you're tired,
Yeah, he got
I
beat
can
into
now tell
submission.
you.
Yeah.
I can tell you anything. Now you're tired. Okay, all right. You know, it's because of Jesus. I'm gonna stop whipping you because of Jesus. Now read this Bible, and this is gonna keep me off of you. And you're like, oh, it's because of Jesus. I'm not getting a whipping.
Real talk.
Someone has it's called long-term planning.
No doubt. Yeah. It gets to a point where once you come out of it and you able to look at it from the outside, it's like the the manipulations
Right.
that went into it, and
We
you
have to
able to
we have to look at
recognize.
we have to
Yeah,
look at just straight history. Just look at
yeah,
straight history. Because I really don't like what they call slave dungeons. Like off the coast of West Africa, they say these are slave dungeons. They are not, I will repeat, they are not slave dungeons. Those were Catholic churches.
no doubt.
They'll have their servers upstairs and you begging down. That's why we always say, I thank the Lord upstairs, the man upstairs. Why are you downstairs? That's
Hmm.
a psychological transmission of
Wow.
memory.
Hold on. Like I get say that one more. Just repeat that real quick because I think that people they nobody really mentioned that those were churches. Break that
That's a
down one more
Catholic
time,
church. They sung hymns upstairs while you cried downstairs. They
man.
would deprive you and they would give you things based on how they felt about you. And you say, oh, I thank the man upstairs. We say it now and don't know where did that come from? I'm thinking I thank the man upstairs.
That's real.
Slavery.
Let me ask you this: speaking of those churches where they held our ancestors, uh, so it's a notion that's gaining a lot of steam. Dr. Vince Bantu, who Jabari debated, I think about a year ago now. Um, yeah, over a year ago. Um, him and I want to say a couple of other Christian apologists, what they call urban apologists, uh, or promoting the notion that some of our ancestors who came over here were already Christians. And so they are trying to dispel the notion that we got Christianity through slavery. It's a book, and I send the name of it to you when we get off of here because I forget the name of it right now. Where Mansa Musa is quoted for having said that there were Christians in his land um, who had an abundance of gold, etc. Uh, and so that's it was Christians in West Africa, and this and that. Now it never says that they were African or of African descent. It's never clear on that, but it does say that there were Christians in West Africa. What do you make or think of the notion or the assertion that some of our ancestors, because we know some of them were Muslim, so I guess it's not far fetched to believe some of them were Christian. What do you
Yeah, a
think
lot of them were Christian.
of
But we gotta understand there were wars that was going on.
mhm.
in West Africa. So you had people who was accepting Christianity, but you had small pockets of people accepting Christianity. There was some that was accepting Islam. So that, but the European was not enslaving you based off your religion. He
Right.
didn't say, okay, because actually one of the things they were saying was if they wasn't Christian, you can enslave them.
Exactly. So obviously that didn't stop him when it came to
That
Africa.
didn't stop him, even though this brother's a Christian. You ain't the Christian that I'm talking about. You ain't practicing my Christianity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there's this thing of trying to sanitize history. And what's so interesting is not only are they sanitizing history, ancient history, they're trying to sanitize modern history. There's some recent stuff that has happened that they are moving out of the way. You know, but nah, that these the first ship was called the Good Ship Jesus that was taking
Facts.
Africans from Africa to America. It was called the Good Ship Jesus. And the coat, and look at this is a Christian boat. The coat of arms of that boat was two African men bound back to back. In
Wow.
the name of Jesus, you was conquered. So they told you to wait on the Lord. And he came in the form of a boat, and you got on it and you lost your life. You lost your freedom, your land, your culture, your folkways, your mores, and your norms. Because you
Mm.
waited on them. Wait on the Lord. Look what they tell you. Wait on the Lord. You waited, and here he come as a boat. Oh, that's the Lord? Because you gullible now. Religion is the gateway of gullibility. Now I can tell you whatever I want to. Yeah, he's on that boat. Oh yeah, don't fight. Don't
Say,
resist.
say that
Just get
one
on
more
this
time.
boat.
Religion is what?
Religion is the gateway of gullibility.
Mm.
Now you
Mm.
gullible. Now I can tell you, hey, look, this boat is coming. He's coming to save us. Y'all get on the boat. Don't fight. We're going to a new world where it's gonna be honey and milk galore. You know, with the honey of land of milk and honey. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Just don't fight. Just like now, if they were trying to calm black community, they'll have the preacher say, hey, don't let's not fight. You know, this is the Lord's will. The Lord knows all, and you know, and just to pacify you for slaughter. And you
Man.
get on that boat, and the first two people that they got on that boat, they renamed them Adam and Eve. You can't tell me these people weren't Christian.
Wow.
Soon as you got on the boat, you and your woman was changed from Mbutu to Adam and Eve.
Mm.
See, and our names were so powerful. That's why it's important to get your name back, because our name was our purpose. Once they changed your name, they changed your purpose. It's important to get your African name back. My name is Metu Hotel Ma'at Kwekuyuhuru Jalolowazi Sarah. That is my purpose.
Coogee
There's no
chocolate.
purpose, you know what I'm saying? So we have to really take we have to really just understand what's really going on. And our brother Dr. John Henry Clark said something very powerful. We have forgotten the essential selfishness of survival. We forgot how to survive. We worry about other people before we worry about ourselves. We are under attack, and you worry about what, no, at this point, all these other people that's going through stuff, I feel for you, but welcome to the back of the bus.
Man.
What they tell you when you're on an airplane, when turbulence is happening, you put this mask on yourself first. Then you put it on your child. They don't tell you secure your child. You got to put it on yourself first.
Yeah.
We think securing ourselves is us being racist.
Hmm. And you know, I was talking, man, to a couple of people about like with Ice Cube and trying to. We met with uh, Donald Trump uh, administration about you know a deal for Black America, a contract with Black America. Excuse me, and Don Lemon, the gay dude from CNN, and he starts bringing up uh, why are we not concerned about other people, and why are we just concerned about the American descendants of slaves? And this, and I'm thinking to myself, why would we be worried about anybody else? They have uh they political initiatives and all of these things. What are we going to bat for them for? Who is going to bat for black people? Dr. John Henry Clark said we have no friends, and I think that's been evident in our history in this country. And so when we get people, black people, sitting up here talking about fighting for Latinos and fighting for gays and fighting for all these different causes that's not our own, that bugs me out, man. Because at the end of the day, ain't nobody fighting for us. I don't see nobody stomping for us.
We have forgot, as I just said, the essential selfishness of survival.
Mm,
There's nothing wrong with being selfish when you're trying to survive. I'm going to make sure mine eat first. I don't care how you feel about it. My children are going to eat before I feed you yours. I'm not, my child is not going to be deprived in order for yours to eat. It's not going to happen.
no doubt, no doubt. And with that, brother, I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I just kind of jumped on to see how this live thing worked.
I mean, it's because these these conversations are important because our people have to know that we are actually we have been in a war since we met these people, but this is a war of magnitude because, as I said on the thing, this is a cultural war. Y'all was talking about poverty is all, but ignorance the enemy is ignorance. It ain't poverty. Ignorance keep you poor. You know what I'm saying? And once you know who you are, understand you can know, as long as you know who you are, where you stand, you know what to do. The Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey said, "The things a man has done, he can do it again." When you don't know you've done it, you don't think you can do it.
Mm,
We don't think freedom is in our scope because you don't see it. They're not going to tell you about the rebellions of Africa. They're not going to tell you about the rebellions that we had over here. They're not going to tell you about the victories. They're not going to tell you the places Europeans know they can't go. They're not going to tell you about their losses. But there's an African proverb that says, "Until the lion gets a historian, the hunter will always be the hero."
no doubt, no doubt. And that's really what it comes down to. I think that we have to figure out what freedom means to us.
Right,
Because see, we've been fighting for a concept of freedom that really wasn't freedom. It was free doom, and that's what they was handing us. They was freely handing us our own doom,
right. You
and
you're
so
free to starve to death.
yeah, and we got to figure out what freedom is to us and how we achieve it as a people.
Right.
So,
We
like
have
I
to
said, with
define it
that,
and
brother,
hold on to
hey,
that definition.
let everybody know where they can find you. You know what your business is and all of that, and hopefully, I can get you on again before you make that jump.
Oh,
But
okay. Yeah, family. I'm going home for the long run. I'd rather fight for Mother Africa, because we free Africa, we free the rest of the world. I'd rather go the route with non-resistance. We can get Africa quicker than we can claim north side of St. Louis or Detroit or Chicago and all this other stuff. It's just one dot from one dot. I'd rather put my efforts on resources that are tangible. But my name is Metu Jallo. You all can hit me up on Facebook or Facebook, my bad, at METUJALW. You can give me a phone call, text number 618-514-5240. And I'm always open to just share and just give as much as I can for our people so we can do better and be better as a people, man, because we need all the help we can get, and we don't need all this divisiveness that's keeping us destroyed. I want people to read what's known as the National Security Study Memorandum 46. Write that down. National Security Study Memorandum 46. It was signed by a cracker by the name of uh Zbigniew Brzezinski. And what he said, what he was basically saying in there is we have to keep black people in America separated, and we got to keep black people in Africa separated. This is national security of America. We got to keep these two groups of black people separated, because if they ever come together, they will become a national security threat. These Europeans come together and say, what can we do to keep black folk from working together? So if they coming together to keep us apart, we should come together and stay together.
And that's a great point, man. I think a lot of people, and I just talked about that in this presentation I just did. I just finished up Is This Your King? And I was talking about how it's been a concerted effort in this country since the end of the Civil War to draw a line of demarcation between blacks in America and blacks in Africa, because they don't want us to unite with them. And so they painted a picture of us to them that is negative, and they
Right,
painted a picture of them to us that is negative. And it's all in an effort to divide and conquer, in my
right.
opinion.
You know, you're absolutely right. Let's go back to don't want to stay too long. Let's go back even during slavery. The poor whites had no fight between black people because they saw similarities. There was no, because they wasn't stuck on color. It was the elite that was stuck on color. The poor whites didn't care nothing about color. You so black people at that point started what's known as the Black White Farmers Union. European the elite white people could not let that happen. So when they destroyed, the same person that destroyed the Black White Farmers Union was the one that created the Klan the same year that they so-called emancipated you in 1868. The Klan and the prison industrial complex was born the same year as you so-called emancipated.
Hmm. And that's the
Emancipation
same
Proclamation
year.
never ended slavery. The 13th Amendment did, but 13th Amendment ended slavery, but it reinstalled slavery
Exactly.
simultaneously. We have to
Exactly.
understand the
That's what people
language
have
of
to
our oppressor.
understand. It ended slavery officially, but it continued slavery under a particular caveat. And
Right.
so that's what people have to understand. And they've been taking advantage of that caveat since the inception of that amendment. Period.
Absolutely. You know, so why would when the very thing that made me rich, why would I now have to want to pay for it? So they will
Absolutely.
lock you up for anything. You can,
Yeah. Jaywalking.
brothers and sisters going straight to jail. The prison, there was no prison industrial complex until after slavery.
Yeah. You get locked up 10 years for jaywalking.
For,
You
for
looked at a white
jaywalking,
woman, you got 8 years.
for for and for spitting on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Drinking out
will
of
they will lock you up because you was looking for a job. They'll lock you
absolutely.
up because you had nowhere to go,
Yeah. Yeah.
and ain't with nothing you can do about it. So we
And
have to.
we
My
often
thing
get
is
asked, why did black people go back to the plantations and start working in the fields again? Because they didn't want to get swept up in that wave where they were seeing black person after black person being locked up for
right.
nothing. So let me
Get
get back
kidnapped.
here and work these fields for a nominal fee and do what I know how to do, so I don't get caught up in this wave of my brothers and sisters getting locked up.
Right. So I want black people. Look, y'all. Look, family. Listen, family. Try Africa. Just give it a try and start your new reality. We keep wanting this reality to get better. It's not. Try Africa. Give it a try. Get yourself a new reality. You don't have to worry about police brutality. Matter of fact, in Zimbabwe, let me give you a good example. In Zimbabwe, they police go home at 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock. When do your police go home?
Hmm.
Never. It's 24/7. And then these police officers don't even get paid well. So try Africa. That's all I will say. I'm not gonna tell you what's in Africa, how just give it a shot. This is a abusive relationship that we've been having in this country. All our history in this country has been abusive, has been stealing, has been destroying, has been keeping us from moving forward. Matter of fact, Napoleon, he said his conquest is not even about money, it's about keeping black people from moving forward. Look at that. That's just what they said about us. It's not even about money. It's about keeping black people from moving forward.
That's heavy. That's heavy. So with that, family, y'all heard the man. Try Africa. What you got to lose?
Just give it a try.
This is
Just
the
give it a
warrior
try.
scholar coming back to grace us with some of his wisdom for the first time in a long time. So we happy to have the brother back, and we're gonna try to take advantage of it as much as we can before he take it back to the motherland. So
Yeah, y'all, everybody be careful, be safe out there. Just ride this wave. Get some immune boosters, family, and do what you can to try to maneuver past this stuff, man. They pass laws where you can't even, because there's a document out called the vaccination exemption form. It's a legal document. They're trying to abolish that to where you can't even be exempt from vaccination, but that's part of the Constitution. You can be exempt because of your beliefs. Now they're saying you can't even be exempt. So we have to really be careful, be cautious. A lot of people I've known have made their transition because of this pandemic. Be careful, y'all. Just ride this wave, and let's see what happened on the other end. I'll see everybody on the battlefield.
all right, my brother, that's peace. All right, family, that was the warrior scholar Metu Hotep Jallo. And I appreciate everybody who came on and joined. So, as the brother said, we'll see you on the battlefield. It's your brother Pianki Patama Tulu Nefer Amon Ra, and we are out of here.